Amanda, what's your character's name?
I don't know yet.
Hmm.
Nickel.
Nickel. Like the. I guess it's all
5 cents.
I don't know why I think that's spelled differently in any way. Yeah.
One word.
Yeah, right.
State in her chair.
It's like the metal. Like what else is nickel? Yeah. Anyways. Nickel.
Nickel.
Spelled just like the coin.
It was It was her street name. She carried over into her new profession.
Nice. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? All right. So you're saying, okay, more machine than. Oh yeah, you were just going into how you. Oh, and you got your cyber gear from the knitting circle. And
so they own you, I assume.
Right.
Basically, yeah.
So both of them.
As I have things I can do on my own time. I am occasionally called upon to do work, and occasionally there's also sort of things that they'll put out that they say, like, if anybody's in this area, deal with this situation kind of thing. So at any time, like, I could get a missive, but it generally doesn't happen too often.
Right. Let's see, and there should be. Where's the?
If I do get called on something, I may have to be withdrawn suddenly or disappear suddenly.
Right. There should be a downside to your cyberware, though, depending on how you acquired it. I don't think that's in the basic playbook. I think it's one of the.
I think if you're owned, there isn't. It's only if you like stole it or something, right? Or.
Yeah, like mine was self-made or whatever, so it has downsides.
Right. It's only if you're owned, the downside is that you're owned, which means they probably have either backdoors put in that they can control you or they can track you or whatever else. It's only in the other cases where, you have the other negatives.
Yeah.
Because I think being owned is its own enough of a negative.
Yeah.
I would assume it would be like, tracking or like I can't use these weapons on anyone else in the knitting circle kind of thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And you may or may not even know about what's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my eyes are substandard, so you could, when you make a move, you could have something happen with them.
Okay, and let's see.
And that's for all three? So you had a third piece. Was that one put in the same way?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh wait, did you have a third piece?
I have another.
I think you do, right? Because the killer has 2 plus the 1 from remove.
And the synthetic nerves. So synthetic nerves.
Yeah, killer has choose one cyberware, and then she chose to move to choose a second one.
No, there's choose 2 cyberware, and then you also get a move where she chose a third.
Do you have a different?
I'm
looking in the core book under killer.
Under killer it says under moves.
Cyberware, choose 2.
Choose one more, which I chose.
Oh, man.
The playbook PDF must be wrong then.
Yeah. It doesn't line up with the playbooks.
Oh,
that's interesting.
So I got cyberware.
Well, I think it says choose one more, which means 2, because by default everyone gets 1, and when it says choose one more, that means 2.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Okay, yeah. So what's your second or your third, I guess, cyberware, or do you want to just try take one of the other moves instead of the third?
Well, it just says choose one, and then it says choose one more under moves, which is more machine than meat. Choose another piece of cyberware. So that means I have 2 pieces of cyberware as opposed to just 1.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, everybody has the. Hold on. Let me check it.
Yeah, in the full book, it does say choose 2.
Yeah, I think this MC sheet is just wrong. Either that or somewhere in here it says choose another one, but I don't see it.
So technically, I've got 3. Can I have cyber arms?
I was gonna say, or you could rescind the move to do another move if you'd rather do that instead. But
yeah,
If you want 3 cyberware, then I'm sure you could do that as well.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if that got answered anywhere.
I'm looking at the playbooks in the PDF and in the actual manual, and they both say choose 2.
What? I don't see
For the
choose 2
killer?
in the playbook. Yeah, in the killer for me, I see choose 1 in
So
the
the-
empty sheets that I'm looking at.
So in the Sprawl playbooks, letter inky fillable, it says choose 2 for cyberware.
Letter inky fillable.
What?
Yeah.
Wait.
It's a PDF that came with the thing I purchased.
Oh,
They provide printer-friendly versions of the PDF and ones that
Okay,
are
so
fillable.
you have. So it was apparently fixed, and I apparently have an old version of the playbook's PDF.
Okay.
The core
yeah,
book
it's-
definitely says 2, and Andrew's
I-
sheets, which
yeah.
he bought, say 2, and the sheets
As of
that I got,
February
which I-
2008.
I maybe
yeah.
stole mine, so
I got
Mine
mine
are
from
old.
Drive Through RPG, so that should
interesting.
keep that up to date. Sometimes, let's see if they.
But the core book
Well, then.
absolutely says 2, and I would say that that's
So I'll
probably
go
the
with
most
2.
reliable.
Yeah.
So I think then I'm going to change a few things. I will keep what I have, which is still more machine than meat. And it makes sense now for me to probably get the muscle grafts then. So when I mix it up with a melee weapon, I can roll synth instead of meat and also inflict another harm.
Mm-hmm. So you are just a murder machine, okay?
Just a, what is that called?
Ah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like a human slap chop at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely an indentured assassin. They did a good job with the assassin side of that. I mean, it's the
Okay.
indentured side too, with all the owned that you've got.
I have a definitive answer on the cyberware. The book is correct. The killer picks 2 cybernetic options. So I don't think that changes. That doesn't change anything, does it? You've got
No.
3 cyber things.
Yep.
Sorry, I was only half listening because I was.
No, that's fine. You were reading. That's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
There we go. So
Anyways, it's in the.
you guys,
That's from the author directly in the
Right.
from
Yeah.
somebody bumped
comments
so
and
loud
drivers.
outside. It was like 2 blocks away, and I could hear it. I'm so impressed right now.
They
Anyway,
did what
continue.
outside?
Burped.
Bert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just had to say I was really impressed.
So in addition to your custom weapon, you also get 2 additional weapons.
So yeah, I basically have a big fuck off sword. And then
Which is your
I
custom weapon,
think-
right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I think it's got like a sheath or something on the back, so that like it kind of looks like there's some kind of like visual obscuring of it of some kind. I'm thinking. It looks like just a stick of or something wrapped in towels. I don't even know. It's just the sheath of it is really unassuming and kind of grungy looking. So if somebody were just to casually look at me, I can appear as just another street person with a bunch of random crap strapped to their back. But underneath all of that is some pretty deadly weaponry.
That might be.
And-
Maybe you should have had a settle tag for that.
Mm-hmm. Where would I find
Okay.
that?
It was one of the options you could choose for your custom weapon, actually. But that's.
Oh, subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that also isn't on the. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
It's,
I think that fits more with what I want. Sorry, I know I'm changing. We picked big after I ditched silence, but subtle actually
So subtle and weighted.
subtle and weighted. Yeah,
Okay. That makes
I like
sense.
that better.
I said that makes sense, not Alexa.
Oh my gosh. Sorry about your listening, robot. All right. So anyway, so I'm dragging this on. So crazy fuck off blade. The other 2 weapons are a silenced machine pistol, which is 2 harm close near, and a heavy revolver. So 2 small guns that can be easily hid under like a dirty trench coat or whatever.
Okay.
I also have body armor. A little bit of that, just customary, as is, typical of my type.
You don't have neural implants, right?
No.
Okay.
Is that neural interface? Is that what that means?
Yeah, that's what yeah. So I'm just making sure those weapons aren't plus linked.
No, that's it. I don't know.
If you don't have the neural implants with the tracking suite, then they're not. But if you do, then they are.
Mechanically, if you had those linked, then you would roll synth for those as well instead of meat. So it would be the same roll as you would do for your sword, since you have muscle grafts. But if they're just there as a backup kind of thing, then...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by the time I'm using guns, shit has hit the fan. So, I think that a lot of my work is with my specialty weapon. Or, yeah, my custom weapon, and the guns are just kind of backup. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what's the armor, or what's the other thing you got?
The other thing that I picked up was the
It's like body armor.
Yeah, basically just like body armor.
Okay, body armor.
Which is 2 armor, yeah. It's under my clothes, it's hidden, it's not, it's not obvious. Everything about me is meant to just kind of blend into the background a bit. I think at this point.
Okay.
And your directors are masochistic in network? Yeah, okay.
What color hair is this? It's shaved on one side. What color hair is it actually?
I think it's growing out to be kind of like a dirty blonde, but it has been bleached a few times and seems to be like hot pink, maybe at the tips.
At the tips, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just a bright pink flare straight out of your skull. It's only at the ends.
Yeah, it's gutter punk kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see.
Like I just look like a street kid, just one of many street kids out there. And that's a look too. That's a guy's. It's meant to kind of throw people off and just assume I'm just some punk kid because I'm very small. I'm short, but I'm not that young. I think people see me as younger than I am, and especially because I've got it. I just have a look of somebody who maybe of various mixed heritages, so it's kind of hard to pin down. Also very dirty, so yeah.
How old are you exactly? Or or just not exactly, but ballpark if necessary.
Probably I probably want to say.
I'm thinking this is the woman you would not ask this question to. At least not within 100 yards.
Right.
Probably due to malnutrition and actual street living for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably going to be in her mid-30s, mid to mid-30s, but looks like in her early 20s.
Yeah, I was halfway through this game before. Was it Vice or Cooler? Who's 50? Yeah. It was twice as old as I thought they were. Okay.
So yeah, the synthetic nerves are part of what I have. I react quickly. I can almost dodge bullets. If none of your enemies have synth nerves, take 1 forward to mix it up. Situations where reaction time is critical, take +1 forward to act under pressure. That's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. And we just need I think we need a quick link with somebody else here.
Yeah, we need it both ways. One person needs a +1 with her, and she needs a +1 with someone.
Yeah.
At least.
How do you do it?
Well, normally at the beginning when we're... go ahead. I've got to stop doing that.
I don't know. You're probably about to do that better than I was. So at the beginning of the not just the session but the game itself, everybody creates a corporation, and everybody creates a link with one other person based on a job they took against one of those corporations. And doing so increases the clock on that corporation, but it also gives you the ability to get a +1 on, or +2 on, not +2, +1 on a assist move. So
technically, you would say the mission, and then the person to your left would tell you how they were. Like the person to your left would be involved in that mission, and they would tell you how they were involved. And then each other person gets to choose if they were involved in that mission or not, and describe how they were involved. And each extra person adds 1 to that clock.
Right.
So there's 1 person at least, and it could be more people that have a link. But just to move quickly, I guess.
It's how we as characters know each other.
Exactly.
And it's through jobs.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like, for instance, just so that you have some background on us, how did that... So basically, I have a... I helped Vice get in on this job, escaped with Cooler. So Cooler was attacking Ripburger, or was it Vice attacking Ripburger?
So, okay, first one we have, Cooler was tasked to steal an exosuit from Cross. His colleagues were caught, but Cooler got out in that job. Dragon X was part of his support in that. He assisted in the theft, but escaped on his own. And the way that worked was Andrew basically said, here's the job. I was tasked to steal an exosuit from Across, but the mission went bad, and I was the only one who got out. James was to his left, and so James described how he was involved with that mission, which is that he assisted on the theft, but got out, and Cooler thought he had gotten captured or killed, but he had actually got out on his own. Let's see, is that the one? One of you was actually. Anyways, not that important right now, but that's basically how it works. There are Vice's was he led a team to snatch a prototype neural interface from what was that? That must be Ripburger.
Yeah, it was
Ripburger.
Yeah,
because I remember I allowed for him to escape by creating a diversion.
Yeah,
that
exactly. Job also got botched. Both missions were botched.
Right.
Foreshadowing this mission, right?
Yeah.
No, we're amazing.
So just for the
How do I change my name? I forgot.
Should be on there somewhere.
I think you can just highlight the top. Which name? Your name and the name it shows there.
Go into bio and info and hit edit.
Actually, settings and display name, if that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did.
I don't know if you mean your name and your photo tag or your name and your character sheet.
My name and my photo tag.
Yeah, so go to settings in the right panel and display name at the very top.
Ah, thank you.
I think I can. Yeah, here we go.
And then you have to click save name for it to take effect.
And I just changed your name on your character sheet. So.
Thanks.
Got it.
Now I can't see my video.
Your video.
What?
Oh, your
I see
video.
your
Reset.
video.
Do the reset thing.
Yeah.
When in doubt, reset. Reconnect.
Which will mess all of us up, but. So, okay, she's going. Now she disconnected completely.
There. Yeah.
Yep. It's good.
All right.
So what's her link? Who gets a +1 with her, and who does she get a +1 with? Just. We could just randomly roll if we want to. It's
let's do that. Let's just do a die 4. It's going to go from. It's basically going to be.
Should it be like a d6 divided
from
by
my
2?
point of view. I just rolled a die 4, and it'll be left to right 4. She's got a link with herself. Great.
Yeah,
nice
that's why I was
game.
thinking d6 divided by 2.
That's a better way to do it. Okay, so she's got a link. Yeah, she's got a link with Fujiwara.
Okay, so add in your link section Fujiwara, and then just put question mark, because if we do another session, we can fill that out later if we reuse this character. But for now, narratively, it doesn't matter. If it ever does matter, you can just say how that actually was. But and now roll again.
Link, you said add.
Yes.
Fujiwara.
Yeah. What am I doing? Yeah.
I mean, you both are mean killer people, so
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
you probably killed together in the past. If I was
I'm a
guessing.
little more subtle about it.
Well, you're a hacker.
A little bit.
I'm an infiltrator.
Nice.
You're an infiltrator. Yeah, so you might do some killing, contract killing, but it's not like
But no one knows about it. When you do it, you leave a calling card.
I don't do it like you do it.
Right.
You don't
Yeah,
do it.
you just walk up and they're dead. Okay, so and then roll that again to see who gets a link with her.
Oh yeah. Where did that go? Nice. Oh, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Cooler. Cooler also has a link.
So I put both Fujiwara and Cooler?
No,
No.
you
Cooler
only
puts.
Yeah. You have a link with Fujiwara, and then Cooler has a link with you. It's
Got it.
the person who helped you on the mission gets a link with you, but you don't get a link back with them. And then wait, I don't
So
know. Yes.
Mhm.
Like, if you help me, that means that you probably got me in somewhere where I could do my job, kind of thing.
Yeah. So whoever you have a link with, you helped them. And whoever has a link with you, they helped you. So I helped you, and at some point you helped Cooler.
Okay.
Okay. And all right, where's real quick, let me make sure we've got that straight. God, where's the actual character creation section? Find out if character's made. Trying to play. Find the corpse, right? Choose playbook. And describe your character. Assign stats. Choose cyberware. Choose playbook moves. Choose gear. Consider background and contacts. Yeah, you basically did that. Directives, yeah. Links, yes. That looks like it's okay. All right, we're good.
Normally you would have had a chance to get more links with us and add to clocks, but yeah.
Yeah.
The only other thing we would need to do is make sure that she put stake up for the mission.
Oh yeah. You want 1 credit. So.
Only one?
So you can choose 1, 2, or 3, and this is immediately gone. But if we complete the mission, you'll either get it back or you get a multiple of it back, depending on some details on how you get paid out. But
so is 2 a reasonable amount? It's right in the middle, all that stuff. Ow!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Vice and Cooler both put in 2, and Fujiwara only put in 1.
Yeah, I'll put in 2.
I think I put in 2.
So do I just
never put in 1?
Oh, okay. I had it. Yeah. So Cooler put in 1.
So do I just change? If I put in 2, or do I just change my credits? If I start with like 5, I just change it to 3, and that's enough.
You might
to
want
know
to note somewhere that you did that.
Yeah, I don't have confidence in our ability to complete a mission.
You're probably the smart one. You'll be rich after this mission, and we won't.
Put 2 credits to mission.
And one thing that you can still do on this mission at any point is you'll still have it. We've all declared our contacts, but you still have 1 contact that you can declare. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
And we're in the legwork phase, so
Yeah. Yeah, we're right at the end of the legwork phase, but I'd prefer we go right into the action phase at this point.
You could declare a contact in the action phase too, though, right?
Yeah.
You could. Yeah. I mean, it's a little more limited utility, but there's things you can do.
Well, it would be stuff like shit goes tits up. You need a getaway driver.
Now,
right.
So you call your getaway driver to come bail you out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or even something weird like a supply drop or an airstrike or a airstrike would be cool.
So I have a feeling my contact is obviously going to be somebody in the circle, the knitting circle.
Makes
Like,
sense.
I think that
Probably.
makes sense just for the character.
Yeah, just have that in your head, and when you need it, you can call it. You don't have to. You can do it as a move.
Yeah, you don't have to declare right now. You can wait.
Okay. Yeah. And you generally do describe your contact. That's, I believe, there's a move that's basically create a contact. Which one is that?
It's declare a contact.
Declare contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a whole description of that in the playbook. But just
you can do it
FYI.
Yeah. When you need to call in a favor from a new contact, name and describe the contact and say why the contact owes you a favor or why you owe them a favor. The MC will ask you some questions about the contact and your relationship, add the contact to your list, and then you can use them. Usually you'll use like hit the street to talk to them in the legwork phase, but if you're using them in the action phase, it'll be contextual.
Only reason I mentioned that is I feel like I kept springing it on y'all when you did it. They'd be like, I'm going to declare a contact and invent a contact, Daniel. I'm like, no, you. I just would get surprised looks back. But anyways, yeah. So are we ready for the action phase then? Are we?
Well, like I said, I want to do I definitely wanted to. Prior to this, I would have done a bit of research on what an Archangel was and as much detail as I could find, like blueprint schematics, maybe how they're used in general by corporations, and maybe any flight details on this specific one, things like that, and how they do guard detail. Basically, just general research, and I would have been using any resources I had available, so public databases and whatever. And in the end, it'll end up being the research role, however you want me to do that. But
is that something your hacker could help provide since you still were in conversation with them?
Yeah, that would have been part. I mean, I would have combined my own research into it and probably pulling that hacker in and like contacting them and seeing if I could get details.
Okay.
And while Fujiwara is doing this, Cohen picks up the rest of us and heads off to the action phase.
Have fun. See ya. Let me know if you win so I can get my credits back.
Okay, so let's see. Your contact was that Boris the hacker?
No, that was triple byte.
If
you look on the left of the sheet,
yeah.
the page we're on, actually I have our 3 contacts listed.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah, but I've got a sheet with a lot more details.
Yeah, well, that's good.
A lot more details. Yeah, we don't know a whole lot about triple byte.
No,
I don't even have a gender down for triple byte. So yeah.
I'm thinking it's a she, but I don't know because we've never actually met. We were in the vicinity when I helped break him or her out of wherever that was. I forgot the place it was. I think it was Yorio. But yeah, we've never met in person.
I've been leaning towards like intersex or something like that, honestly, just because of how ambiguous you were about them. But yeah, she
Could
works
be.
as well. Yeah,
could be whatever they. So, yeah. So I would be. It wouldn't necessarily be just with them, although I could do a hit the street as well as a research if you wanted me to do it that way.
Let's see. So were we? I don't think we were still actively talking to Triple Byte when we ended here because we were already on to Cohen Spry's.
I was kind of in async communication with them through essentially texts.
Okay.
They were still keeping track on a few things with me, and they were feeding me GPS location coordinates, and so just to catch Nickel up. I don't even know if she is involved with us yet or how she's going to get involved, but I guess for Amanda's sake, we've got a mission where we're trying to get a scientist who apparently defected to another company. We're trying to pull him out for another company and get back their algorithm. In fact, I think that they don't care about him, they care about the algorithm, although if we get him, that's probably good too.
Yeah.
No, is this a rival company that has this person? So
yes, you figured that out by now, yeah, that it is a rival.
So it could be possible that I was jobbed to take care of somebody within that company to kind of assist with what you're doing, maybe?
Sorry, say that again?
Is there any possibility that my involvement could be something along the lines of I was jobbed to your project, or you recruited me to this excursion?
Yeah, I don't think you. So it would be weird to directly associate you with a corporation, like to put you in their like HR structure, because
I mean it could be as simple as you have links. You have a link with Fujiwara, so he could say, "I think that this is going to be much worse than what we think it's going to be. We need more muscle." And give you the call.
Easy.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, since obviously we've worked together in the past, I know you, I probably am contacting you and trying to pull you in on this as well as part of, and while I'm doing this research, that's probably one thing I'm doing. As a result of the research, I'm probably seeing, I don't know what the result is going to be, but if it's heavier security than I think might be, or if we don't know the security approach, I'll probably need to pull in some extra muscle, so I would have contacted her to do that.
Right.
Since I haven't done that research role, I don't know yet if that's how that goes. But as a result of whatever that is, that's what I'll do.
And the motivation for my character is like, well, I have to because, or like we're friends, maybe? Do we have friends?
Typically, you aren't friends with the links at first, but you can become friends. But I would say at this point we have a professional relationship that we're not necessarily friends, although maybe I respected the way you did something, or maybe you respected the way I did something, the way we kill. Maybe you wanted to be a little sneaky.
This is an opportunity for me to do a job that isn't associated with the knitting circle. I get to do my own thing, so I can make some money on the side with what I have. Like, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
So yeah, Daniel, just let me know how you want me to follow up on that. We don't necessarily have to play it out, but if you wanted me to just roll.
Let's see. So, you were texting. That's right, you were texting her or them before, right at the end here. So, and you hadn't really got. Yeah, let's just continue with texting Triple Byte on seeing what you can get out of them.
Okay.
And what? So you'd already made a hit the street roll, hadn't you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Just go ahead and roll that again, because.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, I'm definitely doing my own research into what I can find, but they'll probably find more. So hit the street. Here it is. So I'm sending some follow-up messages through whatever IM we're using to Triple Byte to see if I can get some details on Archangel, like find as much information as you can find on this. Let's see, do I have a forward? I still had 2 hold assess on the apartment, but that probably doesn't apply anymore at all, right? Unless I found something in the apartment related.
No, yeah, that was location.
So nothing in the apartment gave any details, so okay, and nothing else. Okay, so did it roll? Yeah, it rolled.
Yeah, there went 7. Yeah, and so okay. So
I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
If the AC unit is freaking out in the other room, I think I need to go shut it off. It's getting loud.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. Let's see. So, all right. So you are hitting up. First off, what are you looking for out of from Triple Byte? And
well, basically, I'm trying to get just general. It sounds like I don't have details, and some of this might come from Cohen as well, because it sounds like he knows what he's the one who brought up the term Archangel. So I probably also either contact him or Cooler will be contacting him, but we'll definitely be hitting him up for some information, and this will just be the combination of everything we get. But trying to get some details on what Archangel is, what these typically look like, if they have a standard layout or if they're all different, how they're usually used, like what their scheduling is, and if they touch down and they always stay rooted for 12 hours and then they take off, or if they potentially move around during that time, or any amount of detail. But mostly, if I'm rolling hit the street, is that what I just rolled?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one doesn't have specific questions. So
Right.
yeah, I'm just trying to get.
You do need to choose, 2 from the list on what the complications are for that.
Yes. So your request is going to attract unwanted attention, and your contact needs you to help them out.
Okay, Trilobite needs you to. All right.
Triple bite.
Triple. Yeah, no. Chris said Trilobite. Put that Trilobite in my head, and now it's just.
That was my suggestion last time. That wasn't taken.
Right.
Never let it die.
Fake it until it's true.
Yeah,
It's
you know they hate it when they get called that, right? Like it's triple bite, not trilobite. Yeah,
not me.
Maybe that's actually what happened. Is you actually accidentally called them triple trilobite, and that's why it's costing
it's like
you extra.
Vice keeps saying that. Stop saying that. Oh shit.
Yeah. So, all right. So you have texted a whole bunch of questions to Triple Bite. Triple Bite gets back to you.
And probably the relationship we have, it's more about just find me what you can on Archangel, and they would just figure out from there. But because we work together, they know that I just want as much as possible, and this is probably the stuff that I would want because they know probably what I'm dealing with. Yeah.
So you get a text back says, not a big tech, not a big tech person, but I can get security details. However, kind of risky. And it's just like proceed ?
So my hacker friend just told me they're not a big tech person. What? I'm confused. Did I misunderstand that?
There's a big difference between somebody who hacks and somebody who puts together an engine, right? That's what I'm talking about. Not a big tech person.
Not an engineer.
So mechanical
engineer,
engineering type. I see. Okay, got it. Sorry, I just needed to understand what I thought that meant. Okay, so yes, as simple as that. Just yes.
Yes. Okay. Said. Get back one other message. It says, okay, but I need something. I need you to plant a bug on. I need you to plant bug on Archangel, if you even get past security.
And I'll text back. Should I ask the question?
What question? Oh, I see. Yeah.
Basically, any questions.
Right.
Mostly should I ask?
There's 3 dots for a little while while Triple Byte tries to parse that, and you get back. Okay, I'll send the data over when I'll send something over when I get it. And as you are proceeding to the hangar, where Cohen Spry has his. I have written down Quinjet here. So I guess that's basically what you're going out here in.
You were equating the size to that.
Yeah.
So that we could technically fit a Cooler's motorcycle in the back.
Yeah.
But not a whole van.
Right.
But not the dump.
Yeah.
The dump van.
Which is Vice's van, Amanda.
The dump? You call it the dump van?
It's called the dump because it's big and it's got all my shit in it.
Yeah. He's a
I
tech.
had not heard that explanation before, but okay. Yeah, by the time you roll up to the hangar, you have received details on the security complement, which right now appears to be a standard four-person detail, each armed with rifles. They do have access to heavier weapons if necessary, but don't necessarily carry them around on them. Can be, if what am I looking at here? Sorry.
Did you say they provided schematics?
What's that?
Did you say they provided schematics, or did I make that up in my head?
You made that up in your head.
Okay, so you said there was a four-person detail. That's basically all I've got out of it so far, right?
Yeah, four-person detail,
weapons.
armed with rifles, access to heavy weapons, but don't necessarily carry them on them. Can be beefed up if they believe there's a threat to the Archangel itself. Some minor details on the Archangel. It's large. I don't think Amanda got this detail. Got any of this because obviously was not here last time. But it's so what's going on here is in the fiction there are these monopoles. It's sort of an old hard sci-fi thing from 80s and 90s. You don't hear about that much anymore, but I always thought it was kind of cool. But monopole is like a single, like a magnet has a positive and a negative side. In theory, there are these particles out there that only have a single side to them. They're only positive or they're only negative magnetic poles. And in this particular setting, they are actually able to find these monopoles. They kind of come down out of the atmosphere, some interaction between the atmosphere and outer space and cosmic rays, and basically scatter down in on the tundra and sort of rainfall like weather patterns. It's very hard to predict where they come down, but very valuable once they're gathered up and processed. And the monopole extraction process is basically you get out to a claim, stake a claim, gather up as much as you can, and get back to a processing facility. The Archangel is this big, like, flying sort of carrier for a lot of the collectors and extractors, and it flies out and drops down 2 or 3 different vehicles that go around and suck up all the monopoles, then gathers them back and flies back out. It's kind of a Dune situation, if you've seen a Dune the movie situation, where something flies in and drops the crawlers and gets out before the sandworms eat them, except there's no sandworms. Anyways,
we think.
Yeah, so far, no sandworms.
Ice worms.
What's ice worms? Yeah, but that's basically the Archangel. It's this giant flying cargo ship, essentially. Has VTOL capability. Can pick up these large sort of a cross between a dump truck and a city bus is the way I think of it. Collectors that drive around sucking up monopoles and putting them in containment units. But that's the Archangel in a nutshell.
Cool. But yeah, Jim, I'll go listen to that after.
Yeah. So all I got out of them, was that there was a 4-person detail armed with rifles and access to heavy weapons. There's no other information that they were able to provide, right?
Not on security complement. No. That's largely what you've got. I am going to move the action clock up as a consequence of that.
Action or legwork? I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess if we're on legwork.
I mean, really, I wanted to lead with research, and if I needed more, I was going to follow up with hit the street. You kind of pushed me that way, but because I just wanted to ask the question, how secure is? That's the main thing I wanted to find out.
Yeah. No, I think you've basically got the answer to that out of this.
The problem is I would have had intel from doing the research role I was trying to do. Or I might have had intel. Actually,
right. You can still roll it if you want.
No. Now I'm afraid that if I fail this, I'm going to cause more issues, so I don't know. But yeah, I that's what I was trying to do, so I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Let's see. And then since this research is related to breaking and entering, would the skills wire count for this or not? Some of the information that it has stored in there, maybe it has something about Archangel in there, or unrelated.
If you're looking specifically for something that's going to, I'm just going to put down a no on that one.
Because I'm kind of hitting
something specific you're looking for in that sense.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm hitting darker circles, like people who've maybe hit these before, who have any suggestions on ways to crack them or things like that. But okay, I won't include that then.
Anyways, yeah, and in any case, that's I put up the legwork clock, but that particular legwork clock section jumps up the action clock as well. So,
Yay!
Yeah.
So you got 8.
Yeah, and my question was, how secure is the Archangel, this Archangel? Which unfortunately was already the answer that I guess I got before.
Yeah. Let's see. And did you answer your question? Oh God, yeah. Okay, yeah. But you got an intel out of it, so.
Yeah. I mean, that's really the role I was trying to make before. I wasn't gonna hit the contact up until I didn't get enough information, but I've already done that. Okay. So I do have intel.
Where's my intel? There it is. Okay. Okay. So that puts you up to 2 intel and 1 gear. And I was okay. And if there's nothing else, I think you should. Let's go with the action phase, right? Does anybody else have anything they want to do?
Not me.
I'm good.
All right. All right.
Did you want to call in her before we leave? Based on the information you found?
Yes, yeah. So following that up, let me think about this. So basically, as I'm doing the searching, I guess we're kind of together doing whatever, like we're kind of figuring out what we're doing. I'm probably with them as I'm doing the searching, and as I find it, I would, let me think. So I'd share that information. So let me think about this. Yeah.
Yeah. So this isn't going to be too hard to crack, but we may need a little bit more help. It's going to be a detail of 4, which they may, if they're aware of our involvement, if they're aware we're coming, they may add some heavy guns. So I think we might need a little more than what we provide in case things go south.
You saying Squeaker can't handle it on its own? And I hold up the big pistol.
From what I'm seeing, no. Unless it can split its shots in 4.
Oh, that's a good idea. I will write that down for the future. Gonna do that.
You work on that, and
Yeah.
I got a friend I think I can call help us out. If you aren't, if you're both okay with splitting the share 1 extra.
Oh,
if it comes out of your cut, Fuji, whatever.
He got you there. Good one, Cooler. You got him.
Alright, fine. I'd rather that than be dead, so, alright.
That's true. Dead is bad.
I've tended to find that to be the case.
So with that, yeah, I'll be calling. I'll call in Nico, let her know, give her details on the job, and see if she's available and wants to hit it. Knowing that she's always, from what I could tell, she was always kind of itching to be involved in things that had nothing to do with the knitting circle, to give her a little bit more freedom in how she approaches things. I've got a feeling that she'd be interested, so I don't know how I contact her. I guess I just drop a, similar to how I'm contacting TripleByte, whatever the system we use. Although TripleByte is through some encrypted subsystem that they let me know about. This will be more public, and so I won't mention the job itself at the first instance. Just that there's I'll very innocuously speak of some work you may be interested in, and curious if you're looking for a moonlighting gig, and I'll send that off.
Like, are we just texting? Is it like that kind of thing, or
at this point it's texting, because I don't know if I know how to get a hold of you any other way. I don't know if I have a direct line that I can. Maybe I do, but
it might be something where you're not going to say a lot of that stuff. Like, think of it like a drug deal, right? Like, you're just going to say something really vague, like, "Hey, I have something you might be interested. Do you want to meet me?"
Which is exactly what I just did, and then we could either have set up an encrypted line and do that, or just meet somewhere at a known location.
Mm-hmm.
So so I would say, well, I would wait till you responded, but if you were interested, I would set up like a meeting location, which would just happen to be where we were going at and heading.
So she just responds back with, "I'm listening."
Okay. So then I send her basically an address, a location. So where are we working out of? I can't remember. Are we just
the city?
But did we have like?
We're still at Cohen Spry's place. It was.
Or possibly you're all crammed into the back of Vice's van.
That is also possibly a thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna think that probably I've got an apartment that I just live from, so I'm not living from his van, but and it's probably somewhere temporary that we were just jumping into for. I can't remember if I'm typically from this city or if I came here. I need to remember my backstory. It makes it hard to say why I was here, but anyway. So for now, though, yeah, we're at. What was the place Cohen Spry works at?
That is he at Macross, or is he? No, I said something else. Hold on.
But we were ready to head out, right? Skyline?
Skylines.
Skylines.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Skyline.
And you were from Japan, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, I do remember that. I just can't remember if I lived there and I just came here on...
Oh, yeah.
But that's aside. Okay. Oh, yeah, I think I was hiding out. So I was hiding out from Yuri here while I was planning further revenge, and then this came up. Okay. So we were planning to be on our way, so probably I'm going to give some location that's between here and there, so I'm not going to just tell her to come here, but as we leave, I'll figure out the route we're taking, find somewhere that's maybe 30 minutes up from there, drop her that location. So I'll give GPS coordinates and say bring. Well, how would I innocuously say to bring something?
Bring snacks.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say bring cake, so snacks is actually better. Yeah. So yeah, bring snacks, and I'll send that off.
She shows up with no weapons, only like corn nuts.
Right.
I thought
just a bunch of chips.
I think it's probably some code that we've used in the past, so she would get the idea, whatever
like
it
it's
is.
a specific snack of some kind that just basically means like come loaded for bear. Like
bring Oreos,
Yep.
since those seem to have some bad rep lately.
It's time for s'mores. Yeah, so I think she... Yep. Gearing up. So, yeah.
That zipper just maybe I imagine her just having a big duffel bag. She just threw a bunch of stuff in, zip, and then just... Sorry.
Well, I think just kind of due to this lifestyle, she's totally okay with you guys just rolling up and just us getting in a car and driving off. If you guys turn on me, it's one of those things where, like, I'm trained to kill people. Like, I'll just try to kill you all.
Yeah.
Like, this whole sort of...
I know enough not to turn on you.
Yeah, the nihilist punk mentality is very, like... like, you know, do or die trying kind of thing. So I think that she's just gonna roll along with it. Minimal explanation. Just wants to know how much to get paid. She's trying to pay back her debts and get her and like buy out her freedom
that I had made. So I was working off of that, and it worked. So perfect.
Mm-hmm. This is not the first time you've called like this. So.
Yeah. Okay, so then yeah, we can head out and handle that however you like.
Okay. So Cohen Spry is waiting for you at the hangar. I'm assuming you do a walk up to the hangar with sort of slow, kind of a funky rock music playing as camera pans across everybody in slow motion.
With the dusters half open, waving slowly in the slow motion breeze, and
Who's the goofy one that turns around and runs away?
Oh, that's definitely Vice.
Vice is picking his nose right now.
Yeah, he's going and
just digging for gold.
And it's slow motion too, so you get every angle of that nugget.
Get the slow motion, slowly pull my finger out, look at it, make a face, and flick it to the side.
All right. Cohen Spry is on the landing pad.
For the record, later we'll post doc the explosion behind us.
Yeah, right. Cohen Spry is waiting for you. He's doing some final checks on his jet. Let's give a brand name to that. It's probably a Macross jet. No, well, actually, Skylines. So with Skylines, let's see, Cooler. This was your contact, right? Was Skylines like an airline, or was it an actual like aerospace engineering firm?
They make planes. For military, but they do make.
Okay.
And the link was that Ripburger Transportation Authority makes vehicles, but not necessarily planes. So they've been working with them and with the end goal of possibly a hostile takeover type thing.
Okay. So
that's
called.
I know, Colin.
Awesome. Okay. I'm trying to think of a. Let's just call it the Skyline 8000 that he is fueling up, doing final checks on. And you come walking up. And it's, all right, come on, let's get going. We got limited time on this thing. I got to bring it back, and I got to bring it back in one piece.
Oh, you want this in one piece? Oh, we'll try.
Yeah. Good job.
He's only really dropping us off, right?
This is not a military craft, right? Like, you need me to pick you up hot, then we'll have to see about that one, huh? I don't know where this accent is going.
Yeah, I was going to mention this is more
really
Boris
good accent last time.
Yeah, this is
going
this
like
is
Italian
Boris.
now. Yeah.
I wondered when they yeah. Although last time I think he kind of floated a lot too. All right, so I forgot what he just said. Wow.
You should load up. So
load up.
So Vice is going to start walking up the ramp, and then as he's walking up, his little his dog Spot is going to ride up behind him. It's a wheeled thing. So it's got 4 wheels,
Oh,
and it just kind of cruises on up the ramp behind me.
okay. That's right. And the other, what were the other drones you're bringing with you? Cooler.
I have a small one that I just call the Bug, but that's in my pocket.
All right.
So I'm driving up with my motorcycle and driving it into the Quinjet. One of my drones, like I said, it's an insect size, so you don't see it.
Yeah.
The other one, it's strapped to my motorcycle right now, but when I go into the field, I usually strap it on my back like a backpack.
Okay. And that's the flying one. That's like is it fixed wing or is it rotor?
So Hawk is a rotor style.
Okay.
The small one, Bumble, is a fixed wing.
So Hawk is like a helicopter and Bumble is like a plane?
Like a fly.
Like a fly. Okay. So like a ornithopter then.
Well, it has a little thruster with fixed wings. If you were to look at it, you'd think it's like a bee or a fly.
Okay.
So, but it doesn't. It can't just sit there and hover, right? It has to come in for a landing. It has to then thrust off and take off.
All right. Okay.
One other thing, really quick. Where was I supposed to get the Bug to drop in there? Was that something that I was going to be picking up from a dead drop somewhere?
She's uploaded you a software package that you're just going to have to plug in at some point, and to make sure that nobody, from their security sees you do it.
Okay, she knows I'm not a hacker.
There's several instructions. Yeah, you basically, it's just, it comes with a text file with instructions like Fuji, dead simple. Put on USB drive, plug in. Don't let anyone see you do it. We can take a break.
Okay. Also, really quick, while I'm thinking about it, also, Nickel, mark an experience for accepting the mission.
Oh yeah.
Where do I even mark that on this sheet?
At the very top.
Oh.
And Jinx, I was saying I needed a minute as well, just at the same time. And wrote brief break.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready?
Yeah. All right. I am.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So take off vertically, comes up to speed. About an hour out. Everything is pretty smooth sailing. When Cole Spry says, Cole Spry says, where do you want me to land you guys? Like, I assume we're not just landing right in the middle of things, right?
So was I able to get so do we know where it's landing, or we're just basing off of where the current GPS is, and we don't have any idea? I wasn't able to find, between me and Triple Byte, I couldn't find any details on their scheduling or where they were moving.
They've claimed a stake, so they're not going to be moving from that very far from that stake for the next 12 hours.
And how large is a stake?
Oh boy, let's say about I guess about 1.5 miles in diameter.
All right.
That sounds about right.
So I'm thinking if they see us just sitting near where they are, they may be a little anxious about that. How?
So looking around, how I guess we're not there yet, but is every stake populated? Is there going to be one of these every 1.5 miles or every 3 miles, I guess?
No, it's pretty isolated. There's not a lot of people hanging around in this part of the world. I think I mentioned it real early on, but in this world, climate change has basically made this part of Siberia actually a lot colder than it usually is. So it's barely even habitable for the most part. There's snow all over the place. You might see somebody set up do harvesting here and there, but it's in terms of they're all pretty far away from each other. You're not. It's not like wall to wall harvesters.
I say we either stay airborne or drop down somewhere 20, 30 miles back, wait till they're on the ground for an hour, and then move in low and see if we can stay unnoticed, and then move the rest of the way unnoticed on foot.
Could I interest you in 5 to 2 miles? Because I don't want to fucking walk 30 miles, Fuji.
We're not walking from where we land the first time. That's just waiting, not wasting fuel.
Oh, I knew that.
I was kind of wondering myself.
Well, I did say... Okay, we'll go with that.
Any
other thoughts?
At least one of you does not look like a marathoner, if you ask me, but I don't know your business.
They told me those donuts were fat-free. Cooler's got his motorcycle.
Good point.
Yeah, but I could only maybe fit one extra person on it.
Dibs.
So, actually, before we got to that point, we would have gone out about an hour from where we were and dropped down to the location that I'd worked out with Nickel and picked her up.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, we're picking, okay.
And the location I gave her, knowing that we were heading out in
Your Uber is here.
knowing that we were going to be dropping this vehicle, I would have found somewhere that was that would have had an area to land, and yeah, she probably would have been a little surprised that we came from the air instead of driving up or something. But I don't know how she would have gotten there, but that's the location I gave, and we would have gone there first.
Okay. Yeah, so as you're taking off the second time, he's basically asking you where you're going to go, what, and he says, "Okay, I drop you off. We fly a little closer, and drop you off again. Then I fly away until you call for me the second time. Is this acceptable?"
Yeah, that sounds good, Cooler or Cohen.
Your cola.
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I would stay close. I don't know how quickly we're going to need a ride out. But somewhere nearby.
Is this like, is it just open plains with snow, or is it kind of tundra with some tree and underbrush? What's the landscape like?
You might see a tree here and there, but hold on. Let's see what Siberian tundra actually looks like.
And this is one that's ostensibly being hit occasionally by meteor strikes, so...
Yeah. Well, it's not really meteor... No, not really. No. I mean, everywhere is being hit by meteor strikes occasionally, but it's not like leaving craters or anything. Yeah, most of what I'm looking at is like flat, barren, and like a little bit of hills, but not a huge number.
The first picture of Siberia tundra is a crater.
Nah. It's like the second for me, but or lake at least. I mean, there's a lot of things. So the area I'm thinking of is basically,
Fuji, my little bug here, and I pull out the little tiny drone. I say it jams sensors. So I take it, send it in, jams the sensors. We run really, really fast and hope they don't see us. Towards them, not away from them, obviously.
Okay. What does it jam?
Sensors.
Human senses?
No. Like,
Sensors.
If they have like radar,
Too funny.
thermal detectors.
Understood. What about eyeballs?
I mean, if they're cyberware, I mean, probably. I haven't actually. Hold on, and I activate it to see if it knocks out my cyber eyes.
Let me actually look up what jamming does.
I would hope that your own cyber eyes were
No, they're shit. They don't do nothing.
oh, they're not shielded in any way. That's
No.
awesome. So if you jam, you're also blind.
So what I've got here
Goggles,
says
they
permits
do
the
nothing.
jamming of any communications that lack the encrypted tag. Communications, so I don't think it actually does anything to your eyes. It probably.
But isn't seeing a form of communication? Sorry.
Short distance.
It blocks.
If it's
It
hooked
blocks
up to the
any.
optic nerve, it should be fine.
Yeah, Cooler is completely unable to understand American Sign Language. But other than that,
So
Or
they're
vice.
jamming, right? So that's only going to be communication. It's not going to block. It seems like that should be. So what is it that blocks? Like
It's anything. It's anything that's not encrypted. But my eyes are encrypted.
oh,
got it.
okay.
Yeah.
But it's still It's still specifically about communications.
Yeah.
So
So basically, they wouldn't be able to send out a distress call kind of
Right.
situation.
Yeah.
So it's
but,
a
like, there's
communication
no-
jamming. Okay.
yeah.
Which
Yeah,
also
in
means
terms
if it's
of-
like a wireless cameras, it could probably block that because that is communication that is
Right.
blockable. But cameras that are hardwired probably would not work against that, right?
Yeah, but it's not going to block like radar or like LiDAR or something like that. It's not going to block active detection devices.
Well, it just says permits the jamming of any communication. Right, that lacks the encrypted tag. So you could choose, I guess, right, how it does
Well,
it. Maybe
Radar reflection
your
is
drone-
different than.
maybe your drone could land on a wire and actually block the ability for that wire to transmit something.
The way it's probably we're going to do this is he's going to actually we're going to have him roll to see how effective this actually is. If he gets like a huge success, then maybe it blocks radar. Though it's not going to be any and everything, but we'll have him. What is that? Yeah, thank you. So probably I guess that's a synth, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's gonna do it when we get close. If you want
Right.
to get us to that point, then yeah, I can go ahead and roll.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So you've got the other thing is you've got a 12-hour period where this thing is going to be on the ground. About what time of day do you want to hit it? Well, 12. The exact 12 hours isn't super important. It can be like morning, night, afternoon.
I don't know how far north we are, so I don't know what the days look like. But I would assume we would at least wait until it was dark, not even twilight, but like past dark.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're not actually that far north. Weirdly enough, it's just really cold.
Right.
I think I'm gonna.
I also don't know what time of
Take it.
year it is.
God, we
But-
said that at some point. I think we said it was like early fall, but
Probably.
That
I
would
honestly
give
don't
equal
remember if we
days, right?
said that here. But
yeah.
That means
this
the
is
day.
like- What's that?
Well, in the middle, basically on September 21st, right? It's equinox, so every day, no matter where on the planet you are, is exactly 12 hours light, 12 hours dark.
Sure.
So,
It's September 21st.
well, you said early fall. That's a rough.
Okay. Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so
Right.
I'm just saying, it doesn't matter how north you are. It's always going to be 12 hours. Of
I don't
light,
think
right?
that's true to a point. I think that's true to a point, but once you get to a certain point amount north, I think it is less relevant.
Yeah. It's not that far north. You're honestly not even as far north as Moscow. But yeah.
Either way, so I would say some basic assumptions. We wait till dark. We try to. We don't fly straight up, but we try to move on foot. We try to get as close as possible and move on foot the last distance. So I don't know if there's any hills we can kind of duck behind, and I don't know how loud the wind is, but we'll try to use wind and any terrain cover if possible. I'm assuming that Cohen, since he's a hotshot pilot, I'm assuming he kind of has some knowledge of how to try to stay low and avoid radar potentially. And what other basic assumptions would we have?
It's cold.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's part of the plan, though. That just is.
I mean,
although, is there a lot of wind?
Make it part of the plan.
Yeah,
True.
There's always a lot of wind.
So I'm assuming that anyone that they have on watch is probably going to be fighting with wind and cold and like, or maybe they'll be behind windows, so maybe not. I don't know what the Archangel actually looks like. Is this an enclosed thing, or is it a more like? What did I kind of get as an idea of what these things?
Right.
Or actually, what is it dropping off? The thing it drops off, I guess, is the question.
That's the thing I was talking about. That kind of looks like a cross between a garbage truck and or dump truck and a city bus, and those have basically really big tires. They're constantly moving around the site, sucking up monopoles, trying to find optimal concentrations. Those are generally staffed by technicians. The techs will be in and out of those vehicles here and there to do maintenance tasks. Check on sort of on the process itself. Security team is probably going to be more on the Archangel. There may be a couple of them on the ground. Depending on how devoted they are, one of them may actually be hanging out on the outside itself.
So wait, the security team's going to stay on the Archangel when it leaves?
Well, the Archangel's going to be landed. It's not going to spend a whole bunch of fuel flying around the whole time.
Okay, earlier I thought you'd say it dropped it off and then it left and it came and picked it up later. So it stays.
I didn't mean to give that impression.
Okay, so really then there's not anything that drops off. The Archangel is the thing that.
Well, it drops off the crawlers, but yeah, it could conceivably fly away without them.
Oh, so when you said dropped off, I assumed it was dropping them off and then leaving. But you're saying it lands and then just lets them roam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I think
of a Roomba. It lands, then a Roomba thing happens, and then
right. It just yeah. Okay.
I'm sure there's some sort of StarCraft equivalent here, but I haven't played that in years.
Okay. So probably like human barracks take off and land, and then then for some reason the barracks have I lost the analogy. So I mean, really, I guess we should just what is our perfect view of what this looks like, and if we have that as the core plan and then adapt around it as things go to shit is probably So in the ideal case, I would think it lands, we're somewhere where it doesn't notice us as it's coming down. What do you think? And then
as soon as we know where it's going to come down, though, right?
And we don't know where it's going to come down, which is the problem. We've got to wait till it's been on the ground for a little while. We've got a GPS feed that I'm basically getting drip fed, and that's once it stops, we assume that that's probably it's landed. Since they have a claim, we know the general area, so we know where that claim is. And yeah, so I think it lands. We wait till dark. We approach. We try to bypass any security on the outside. So it's like an enclosed thing with one entrance. Again, I'm unclear on how much I actually have figured out from my research.
Yeah. So there's So there are. Yeah. So it's this isn't like a plane-looking thing. It's more like a giant kind of wedge-shaped vehicle. It's Has these massive fans kind of out on, and I know just said it's not plain looking, but I mean it doesn't look like a World War II bomber, right? It looks more like a kind of a really bulky stealth fighter or B-2 bomber. Yeah, and I'm mixing up my planes again here, but it basically looks like a giant wedge. It has attachment devices for each of the crawlers. There is a main crew cabin, probably an entrance off of the back to that main cabin. There may be additional entrances, sort of more like maintenance or emergency access panels up on top of the Archangel itself. There's not a whole lot of, there's not like corridors or anything in there. It's more like if you got on like a KC-130 or something like that, more like the bombers in The Last Jedi than like a Star Destroyer, right?
So then does it seem like a plan I might have come up with would be to approach, gain access to the roof, go through the access you mentioned was there, infiltrate that way, and then
that's viable, yes. And
would I have seen, I mean, if you could just tell me what I found. So I rolled a 7. Okay. If I, as part of the how secure it is, well, I guess that doesn't. Basically, what do I know? Is there anything obvious from what I learned or from what any of them learned that would tell us some of the approaches we could take to get in?
Right.
And so far, from what you've just said, the only thing I know is the top.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, so basically the exterior. You have a general sense of layout. You don't necessarily have detailed schematics of the like detailed wiring schematics or anything like that, right? Like here's a door here. There's there's a crew cabin here. Generally how many security people there will be on location. There's probably going to be some kind of mechanical locks in place on the external access. There's going to be probably a primary, main access where there's not going to be any locks at all. And once you actually get inside, various systems are going to have varying degrees of security. You don't have a great idea of what that would be from here, though.
So, from what I figured out, it seems like the easiest way in, maybe from above. There's access panels on the top, on the roof. If we can get up there, I think we can drop in, and I think it's easy to get us all on board through those panels. And from there, we use the GPS to try to locate target and extract. We also need to try to ensure that we we find the algorithm.
And this is out of character. I assume we figured out, how are we supposed to actually delete or retrieve and delete the algorithm when we don't have a hacker and we don't know, like, what do we know about how we're supposed to get that back?
Well, Anton Chow, that's the guy who started this in the first place. Anton Chow is on board that Archangel.
So we were basically just assuming that we have to force him to do that for us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, conceivably you could have hired a hacker or something like that. But,
sometimes we overthink it, right? We could also just blow up the whole Archangel. That would delete it as well.
Well, they also want a copy of it back. I think they want the algorithm, but they also want any remains of it deleted so that the other company can't use it.
We could rip out the computer system and then blow it up.
We could do what you're saying. We take Chow and blow up the Archangel.
Right.
Or you just fly the Archangel back to them. I mean,
right? Yeah, you could steal it. Yeah, there's lots of possibilities. Right.
We have to assume the corporation is stupid, and for some reason, the only copy of this stuff is on this Archangel, and they don't have a backup copy in their HQ for some stupid reason. But Yeah.
It's
The,
it's a self-destructing algorithm.
Chow was like, we went over this a little bit on the very first session, but Chow was very protective of that algorithm and was given some allowances that he probably should not have been. That came back to bite him when he left.
Yep. Of course, if this was a real megacorp, they would have totally found a way to lie to him and do it anyway. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you get paid, I don't care if that happened or not.
All right, so how are we planning on getting onto the roof of this thing?
How tall is it? How tall are these?
Well, it's probably a good 20 feet up. Yeah. 20, 25 feet up. So you're not going to be able to just jump, but, you know, you probably climb.
Yeah, rope.
Yeah.
Is there like how do people normally get in and out of this? Is there a main entrance?
Yeah. There's there's like a ramp down and a main entrance. There's probably some little maintenance ladders built in on the side, but
where are
not all over the place.
Where are these rovers attached? Is there like some sort of maybe way of getting in through there that we'd be able to see?
Conceivably, it would be sort of through the superstructure, but it wouldn't necessarily be human, built for humans, but conceivably a human could get in through there.
What happens to these monopoles after they've been retrieved by these rovers? Do they get like sent through like a piping system, or do they get taken out of the rover before the rover reattaches?
I think there's an integral system that removes them from the rover and puts them into a containment unit on the Avenger. What is it? What did I call it? Archangel.
Could we fit into that container?
Could you fit into that container? Conceivably, once you've been converted to a high energy plasma, yes.
Okay.
So the answer is yes. You need to ask more detailed specifics.
Yeah. You could. So there's enough space to get through there, but it's not like while the system is active.
Okay.
Yeah. So it still seems like either the front entrance or the top are the easiest ways, and the front entrance is the most obvious and probably the most difficult to just do.
Well, my drone is equipped with infrared. I could probably see if we could see where the patrols are.
I think scouting out after it lands is probably vital to what we're doing, so that would be very useful. Do we have any other... So, I need to get close before I can do much more. But the more information you all can get before we get there, the better off we'll be. Once we're at the door, I can help get us in. But the idea about the drone shoot does not sound like a great one to me.
About the which?
Just the I don't remember exactly what he said the way they get in and out was, but that about the trying to go in the way that the monopole stuff goes in.
Oh, okay. No, I was just asking out of character if we knew what about these different things.
Okay.
About what now?
Well, just if you can get in through the where the rovers attach, right?
Yeah, technically.
And I was asking it as more of what do our characters know, as opposed to proposing it as an idea.
Yeah, you can make some educated guesses about,
Right.
I think the reality is we don't really have enough information to make a good plan, so we're gonna have to just kind of wing it. So we're gonna have to choose on a basic approach and go and do it, and then figure out how to deal with it on the fly. I am going to try to make sure that we set up some sort of comms so we can communicate without having to be within visual or audible range. Maybe some subdermal something, which we may or may not have. But
Cooler, your little robot, you can see through its eyes, right?
I can.
Maybe you could just fly around the whole place and give us a general layout.
Are you talking about Bumble or something more from the sky?
Well, dealer's choice.
Yeah, once it's on the ground, just get us what we need to get in there. If you
Yeah,
said
I
it has
can-
infrared, so we can see where the guards are posted, and if we need to avoid those.
Yeah, so Hawk, he could tell me where people are around the Archangel. Bumble can fly around in more discrete areas and let us know where people are around corners and whatnot. I don't think he has a range where we could sit back, 50, 100 feet away and be able to do that. But once we get close, I could definitely use him to scout out the area.
Yeah, seems like using both, like one for a distance view, and then the other to get up close. It'll be a lot easier to notice the bigger one, so we'll probably want to keep that one back anyway. But Bumble,
Yeah,
I guess is
Hawk flies pretty high. I could keep him out of visual range, at least until his weapons are needed.
what does the weather look like right now? Is it pretty windy? Is there a lot of snow flying around? Do we think that by night it's going to be worse? Are we going to be able to use that as cover a bit? And is that going to block his sensors?
I would say that just on the by default, it's kind of windy, but it's pretty windy. It's relatively clear night though. No adverse weather. However, you do have intelligence or intel that could conceivably use to say, oh, there's a big storm front coming through, or if you wanted, or something along those lines.
You mean to choose to have a big storm front?
Yeah, that's part of what intel can do for you, I believe.
So if we wanted to have the cover of a
reading that
blizzard,
correctly.
we could use intel to cause that to happen.
I think
I guess you could stretch it that way.
I have an intel. I don't know who has intel in the group, but I have one intel and one gear.
Yeah, I have 2 intel and 1 gear.
Yeah. Reveal knowledge. When you reveal your knowledge of the opposition's preparations, dispositions, or environment, describe how you discovered that information and spend intel. You must spend intel to reveal knowledge. Yeah, that's absolutely something you could do. You just have to,
I never thought about actually changing weather as one of those things, but that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, and then you get a +1 forward to exploit the opportunity offered by that information.
So we're gonna wait till they land, scout it out. I'm gonna send my little bug in to jam their "Oh my god, I'm dying" calls, and then we go in and make them live the "Oh my dying" part, right?
So I think I'm gonna do just that. I'll trade in one of my intels, and we did find that there's a storm blowing in overnight, and we can probably time it along with that so that the jamming seems like a result of the storm, and we will be more likely to get. So you said it was infrared. So infrared probably won't be blocked too much by just visible snow, but.
The problem with infrared with the storm is my large drone won't be as effective, if at all, because it's rotary. It's like a helicopter, and in a storm, it's just going to get tossed around, right?
But as a drone, it could recover a little bit.
Yeah, but no more than a helicopter, right?
Well,
like usually helicopters, they want to land in those situations.
Well, it could be that after they land, there's like a 1 hour period or whatever where the storm is not yet here. So or even 30 minutes, like you could scope it out real quick and then
Right.
suddenly the storm picks up, and we go, "Oh yeah," and run forward.
We would. I'm just saying we would lose the cover. I don't think my drone could stay when the weather gets bad.
My understanding is that we just needed it to scout out like the area. You're saying that it wouldn't be there. You're saying it wouldn't be there on Overwatch to like make sure.
I was planning on doing that, but we don't have to. I'm just saying that we the storm will make us lose that for the advantage of having more ability to be more stealthy.
Right. Or possibly the storm just limits your, like, maybe you have to get closer range, and because I don't know. Yeah. A drone, the right type of drone, can still fly in inclement weather, depending on how bad it is. But as long as it's got the power to deal with the forces of whatever winds are affecting it, because its computer can figure out how to keep it stationary. It just might have to burn a lot more power to do that. But if the wind is beyond and the changes are beyond what the device can handle, then yeah, that would be a problem.
Well, if it's affecting communications, right?
Well, no, I'm affecting the communication.
No,
yeah. I got you.
Right.
I didn't
People
see the
are
quote
thinking.
fingers.
I put it up as you were saying that. But if it's affecting, if they want them to believe it's affecting communications, it's got to be a pretty hefty storm, right?
I would think. Yeah. So the question is, do we want that to be a storm?
I'm fine with it. I'm just stating that we would lose my drone's Overwatch ability if we go down that road. That's all.
And they don't really care. I don't think that they find out that they're gonna know that he's been stolen anyway. So maybe we don't need to be that stealthy. We'll try to be stealthy just to get in, but then once they notice us, then we can not worry so much about it. So maybe we can try to be quiet, but then deal with it when it doesn't happen.
So the storm could just be lightly obscuring us to approach.
And maybe some noise, like maybe it would allow us to get a drone in without it being as obvious from a noise perspective, and maybe even the what do we call this thing we're flying in? That something 8000, the Skyline 8000.
Yeah.
Maybe it would even mask that as we come in closer to approach. And probably obscure radar a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. So I don't know the extent of, since weather people are so bad at forecasting anyway, I'm going to call it that there's some storm coming in and you can figure out how bad that actually is.
Okay.
But, so we heard that there's a storm, and probably there isn't because weather is just so unreliable that it doesn't even happen. But that's my intel use.
Okay. All right, sounds good to me.
So anything related to that, then remember you get a +1, anything related to us taking advantage of that storm.
All right. Let's. Okay. Cohen comes through, sets you down a little bit outside of the way where you can deploy your bug, or your hawk. You're deploying the bug or the hawk on this one.
Well, so the one that has infrared is Hawk.
Okay. Let's see, and where was Vice going to use his jamming bug at all?
Not until we are
right up on there,
getting close. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, and if the storm does come in, then we'll use it. He'll use it when the storm hits to like kind of simulate that, and then otherwise it'll just be like if we're spotted. Like I would get it into position, but if we're spotted, I could activate it to basically delay the amount of time before reinforcements show up.
Okay. All right. But basically, you launch your hawk, and what are we trying to do? You're trying to scout out security positions with that hawk. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, it's going to basically give us an overall view of the entire Earth Angel and everything around outside of it, and it has thermographic capability. So I'll see basically any heat signatures. I will let you decide whether I could see heat signatures through the hull of the plane or not.
Okay.
But it can see definitely anything outside the plane.
Yeah. All right. So you land. Cooler walks out, throws his drone up in the air. Hawk flies out open over this site. From your feed, you can from way up high on the feed, you can see 3 crawlers moving around and doing various crawler things, arcane monopole collection things. You can see the techs coming in and out of those trucks, those tracked vehicles, I guess. You do see one security personnel out in the out.
I think we lost Daniel.
Kind of on the what's that?
You cut out.
Really?
I just heard you see one security personnel out, and that's where you stopped.
Okay. Yeah, you see one security guy basically sitting on the cab of one of the crawlers. I can tell he's security because he has a rifle. You can see the point of the rifle. That is not the rifle motion. You can tell he has a rifle that's sticks out a little bit from him on his back. Let's see. You're not really able to tell. Okay. Anything else you probably need to run to have an assess roll, or I guess you actually do a synth roll for your assess roll since you're assessing through the drone.
So you say synth?
I'd say synth, yeah.
Okay. No forward.
Synth to assess.
9.
Okay. All right. That means, what does that mean? Where's my playbook? I just had this up. 9. So you gained 1 hold. What's that?
That was 10.
Oh, it's 10. Okay. Yeah, you got 3.
You got 1 for synth, and you got 9 on the roll. The 2 rolls.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah. It's 10.
Plus, theoretically, you might get a +1 depending on whether that my intel counts or not. But either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Actually, you do get 1 forward from the storm, so yeah, I would say that actually counts as well.
11.
Not for assess. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, you got 10. You got 3 hold. Yeah. And so, what questions do you want to ask from that list?
Can we help him choose the questions, or this is?
Yep. If you guys have any of them, let me know. We could ask it. Any one of us should really be able to ask these questions because it's just us assessing, right, based on the information I'm pulling up.
Yeah. I mean, we can tell you what we're trying to find out, so we can be like keep jabbing you in the ribs. Hey, what do you see? Do you see? Blah blah blah.
But,
do you see Chow? I don't care about anyone else.
One question is, what's my best way in, way out, or way past? That could be a useful one.
Really quick, just so that we don't waste this if it's not necessary, one of the things that I've done as we were getting close was tie in the GPS feed that we're getting with all of our PbtAs, so everyone, both from an AR perspective, if they're like they can tell how far away in what direction, as much as we can, whatever you're allowing me to do. But I would have tried to get it so that we could get as much precision on that GPS coordinate as possible, which in theory is tracking
each
Chow.
other.
Everyone,
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, tracking Chow, but available to everyone's PbtA.
Okay. Sorry. What are you trying? What is this?
Let me clarify something then, Daniel. This assessment is assessing the entire area, right? So these questions are for the entire area. Right. So asking maybe a question, maybe I could see a way in.
Right.
That would be the best one for us to take because we've talked about a couple.
Yeah. Okay. Best way in. Yeah. So you can definitely see a number of blind spots in between the crawlers and the Archangel and the single security team member, where if you approached on foot, you probably would not be seen. In that sense, once you're actually from where you are, it's difficult since you can't actually see inside of the Archangel from here. You can't really tell necessarily what the best way. So you can see a really good path to the Archangel. I don't know. I don't think you would be able to figure out like what's the best actual entrance into the Archangel.
Okay.
I mean, like, yeah.
Now,
So obviously the up top hatches. Think of this like you're trying to take over 747, right? Like, there's a couple of main entrances, and there's maybe a couple of maintenance entrances. Obviously, it's going to be more surprising if you come through the maintenance entrance, but it's going to be a lot easier to get in through the main entrance.
Right.
Yeah.
I could hold on to these questions for later too, right?
Right.
yes.
Okay.
Now, layering this in the fact that, like, can we tell generally where in this thing Chow is or outside of this thing? Because again,
the coordinates that the hacker gave, was that just to this spot, or was that specifically Chow's?
just to his phone. It was literally tracking his PdA.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize we had that set up. Well, from both perspectives, he's going to be in the. He's not piloting the thing. He's not going to be in the cockpit. He's going to be in the kind of main control center. The main bay on that on the Archangel,
and we know there are 4 security guards, right?
Right.
And we know
so
one of them
guys,
is outside on that rover.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see. I see a security guard who's basically doing something to that rover. If we can get over there and take him out, maybe we could use his way in. Like come back in, maybe even disguise one of us as him.
Well, if he's on patrol and he doesn't call in, that might alert them. I don't know if we want to take anyone out until we need to.
But that's where
maybe.
Vice comes in, right? He's jamming communications. They might just think they can't talk to him because communication's out.
Then I would say, yeah, we jam his comms. Of course.
Unless, of course, they're not encrypted. Or unless they're encrypted.
Right. Which, yeah.
Would I be able to tell when I'm jamming something if there is something that's not being jammed? Like that I am unable to jam? Like, would I have that knowledge, or I just activate it and go, yep, job's done?
I don't think so. They're not necessarily, not unless you were actively monitoring their comms somehow.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay, so we know one of them is out there, and Cooler's idea is to take him out. Is he out there with a tech? Is there like other people around him, or is he just hanging out on the
He's hanging out on the cab. Yeah, there are. I mean, there's techs in the crawler that are doing their own thing, but he's not really interacting with them that much.
Does it seem like they would? Can I even see this right now? This is only what Cooler's seeing through his drone. We don't see this. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're outside of visual range at this point.
Okay, so we're like kind of hiding behind a big rock or something.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay, so at this point the storm is starting to kick up. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
it's already windy and there's snow. It's like snowblind almost. Not that bad, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I brought
basically
warm
the storm
clothes,
is
by the
coming
way.
in when you want it to come in. What's that?
I brought warm clothes and goggles.
Yeah. All right.
So, what do you see?
Did he tell us that we had a path up there? Like you said that there was a path we saw we could get in, right?
Yeah.
There's a path where we can get through that they shouldn't be able to see us with the storm rising and based on patrols and stuff. And there's one guard who is at the rover over, and
I point in the direction where the guard is.
Maybe we leave him for last.
Okay.
Maybe we get in, We take all of his buddies, we put him to sleep. And then when he's like, hey, where's my friends? We put him to sleep as well. And then we leave. Sleep means
Well,
kill.
I could keep my drone keeping an eye on him. So
Nickel,
if he starts to come
not-
back in, I'll know.
When he said sleep means kill, Nickel nods like once.
I like her. She's quiet.
All right, so so what are we getting from the GPS feed? I mean, we just know he's in the crawler. Then we are in the the Archangel.
Yeah.
We don't know where. Does it seem closer or further on the left side, the right side? Like, we don't have any general idea at all.
I mean,
He's in the
so the
storm.
Archangel's big, but it's not like I said, it's not like a Star Destroyer, right? There's like a main room and the pilot's cabin, and like I don't know, maybe there's a bathroom too, but there's not that many places for him to be inside the actual Archangel.
Is it,
you know,
so in terms of size, like the ship that we came in on, is it like double the size of what we came in on, about the same?
It's much larger, but like in terms of like habitable space, it's probably only like 4 or 5 times the size of the ship that you.
So is it like 4 trailers, like a quadrangle of like 2 double wide stuck together type thing, or is it bigger than that, smaller than that? Like, is it long and wide? Is it square?
Let's see if I can find a
Submarine
good image. This is something I probably should have done beforehand, but I don't know.
But the majority of the size is because it has to have the propulsion to be able to lift up these things after they've hooked into it.
Right.
I mean, you could use Roll20 to just draw your idea of general dimensions.
Yeah. You don't want to rely on my artistic ability. Ooh.
Well, right now I'm relying on
This is actually, so this is a...
nothing. So.
Oh, crap. Hold on. Google image search is kind of all crappy on me. I'm actually going to pull up a Star Citizen ship here that I think is probably a pretty good approximation.
That'd be $2,000.
Right. God damn it. Images on the web have gone completely bonkers in the last. All right, this is sort of I'm picturing. Is that okay? That's kind of what I'm picturing.
Okay, so it's wide and not very long front to back.
Right. And probably that main cabin area.
So it's actually shaped like this too. So it's actually okay. I think
Yeah, it's kind of like I said. It's kind of wedge shaped. It might be a little bit more longer than this, but not a whole lot. Stretch it out a little bit
and give some scale.
Yeah, probably I'd say about that's probably about 35 feet at the 35 feet long at the at its apex, whatever that long the center portion is. So it's it's pretty big length.
So from wing to wing?
No,
from okay, so front to back, stern to bow. Okay.
Yeah. I think that works about right.
So it's about 70 foot wide.
Let's call it actually 50 feet. Yeah.
So it's 100 wide.
Mm-hmm.
It's about as long as my house.
Basically, there's a central room, and that's I'm kind of picturing that kind of like the CNC in a nuclear sub. Like, if you've ever seen a nuclear sub movie, basically where all the controls take place. And so it's not a big room, but it's enough to have a fair bit of stuff in there. And then there's just the cockpit, which is fairly standard jet engine cockpit.
So
airliner.
let's approach in the way that Cooler thinks would be, us not getting spotted, and then once we get like up to, I guess we would have to find an entryway. But once we found entry, you can then use your little guy to scope out the main room, see how many dudes are in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to like the idea of taking out the lone guard so that he doesn't cause problems later, because I have a feeling we're not going to do this without them noticing. As soon as we infiltrate, I think they're going to be aware. It seems like the main cabin is small enough that it's going to be pretty obvious immediately. I would say either I or Nickel take him out, and the other, I guess maybe Nickel takes him out while I get the two of you.
Get the entrance ready. Once you open
Actually,
that door, I can send Spot in. He'll machine gun everybody. It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Nickel nods.
We could totally Han Solo this. Use his communicator to get them to come running out for reinforcements. Yeah.
RC.
Who's Han Solo?
It was out of character.
I know.
Besides, there's got to be Star Wars in this universe too, right? It's our
There is
future.
now.
So I say we take that guard out. We see if we can get access through something he has, and if not, go in through the top. Try to get. I'd like Nickel to be one of the first noticed, so that we can just take control immediately. Although the longer they don't notice us, the better.
Whoa. Your voice just did something super scary.
It like rattled and yeah, it was bizarre.
Broke up a little bit.
Interesting.
It's fine now.
It was
fine.
just the last sentence too. It wasn't like it was fun until the last sentence.
Yeah.
Did you understand what I said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't.
I did not know.
What did I say?
I don't know.
Whoever understood it, what did I say?
Oh god.
Because I forgot.
Time. It was you were just basically agreeing with what everyone had just said.
Okay. Yeah. So just laying. I think generally just like we take out the guard, we try to get in with something he does, making sure that Nickel is one of the first. Like I would probably try to be the first in quietly, and if that doesn't work, she should be immediately like able to charge in and take charge of the situation. However that worked out, and if we aren't able to get in through the main entrance, I could help get us in through the top. And then we have to kind of play it by ear from there because we don't really have enough information to make any deeper plan than that. I think that was where I'm thinking, so feel free to pick that apart. However, there's their straw man.
Hey, when we got this job, did we get a photo of Chow? Do we know what he looks like?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
And we all have that now on our PdA if we needed to pull that up. So I think that was
Vice would show the picture to Nickel and say, "We don't kill this guy yet."
She just kind of like,
Everyone else is fair game.
So
I've got no friends on
She
this ship.
she doesn't have like a bloodlust. She just doesn't.
Oh,
Okay.
Fuji really likes to
that's-
kill people.
Right.
So
Only the ones that are annoying.
that's everybody to you, Fuji.
Mostly. You're still standing.
Until I'm not useful anymore. I know the game.
Still useful.
It's just because you like the dump so much.
Little does Fuji know, but he has a subdermal explosive device in his in that Vice could trigger at any time.
Oh no.
It's a form of protection.
Vice is suddenly Amanda Waller.
So Cooler basically says,
it sounds like a plan.
and picks up his shotgun, puts it kind of on his shoulder, and starts walking the path.
Yeah, I follow.
So you're walking the path. Okay, so one of us needs to take out that guard. Would Nickel have just immediately jumped towards that, or would she have waited for me to do that?
I think she assumes that would be her job because that's pretty much what she does.
All right. So as you're walking out, you're kind of heading that direction, and I would get Vice's attention and just kind of nod towards her, which you should hopefully realize means you need to start or nod towards that guard. Hopefully he realizes that means to start killing the comms, especially for him.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll start trying to get my guy into place.
Okay.
There is a universal sign language in what we do, what Fuji and I do, like that whole like using gestures and stuff to make it like issue commands. So we're probably employing those things.
Yeah.
Like as an infiltrator, you probably have those like secret hand gestures.
Yeah. And I kind of use that with Vice,
What are
but I
they
have no idea
doing?
if he.
They keep it. Is that it? What are they doing, Kula? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So like
I'm
while
working
you
on
guys are
I'm working on the assumption that he understands, but there's a good chance he doesn't. So
right, well, and like while you guys are having the conversations, like you're giving me these symbols, right? So it's like you're communicating, and I'm just like,
yeah, because we've already discussed that. So yeah, I kind of do the wave towards him, and then yeah, whatever that looks like.
So like I know what's going on. This is seems like a pretty cut and dried job at this point.
Literally, given your not dry necessarily, but definitely cut.
Cut and cold.
Yeah. All right, so we're heading that direction towards the path that's unnoticed, and then she's just going beelining straight at him, I'm assuming.
I don't want him to radio for help. I don't want him to set off an alarm in any way. So I'm probably going to just wait until he turns another way, or maybe just like walk right towards him and just like shink.
And hopefully Vice is also blocking comms by the time that happens. Hopefully.
Yeah, as soon as the blade comes out, especially if the storm has picked up, I would have the drone in place if possible and activate the jamming.
Okay. I don't know if will we be able to see her in that guard, or is it out of visual range?
I'm gonna say it's out of visual range.
Okay.
I could see it though with my drone. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So Cooler can tip Vice off when that needs. Okay.
Right, and I think she would probably imply something like "give me 20 seconds" kind of thing. She can move very fast. She's got the
synth wires, or no, something wires.
The synthetic nerves. So I think she's just going to basically charge the guy with the sword.
Yep.
To the normal human eye, like it is just a flash of movement. If he's got any kind of cybernetics to enhance vision or track this kind of thing, I'm on top of him before he can even hit the radio. Right.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a mix it up. I'm not quite sure how many pluses you've got on this, but it's a number, I think.
I've got a lot.
I was gonna say, does my intel help her in any way? Because actually, no. The question asked is the best way in, so that's the only thing.
The storm should help though, because she's kind of probably using it for visual cover, and he's mostly using sight.
I'm not sure she can fail it, even at, this is weird.
I've got a +1.
+1, okay. Yeah.
And it might not even be
plus
roll.
one.
If he's unaware, she might not even need to make the roll, right? I mean, maybe she needs to make a different roll first to see if he's unaware.
I think she needs to make this is the because there's no like stealth roll in this.
Well,
right?
the act under pressure could be like trying to get to him before he notices, and then if that doesn't work out, then it makes it up. But yeah, however you want to run it.
I think I wanted to mix it up. I think that's better. Better move for the situation.
So can I use my muscle graft then? Because it says when you mix it up with a melee weapon, you may roll synth instead of meat, and also inflict one more harm. So at this point, I'm at like +4 harm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plus, you also should have the +1 from your synth nerves.
Yeah. You've got you're using synth. You've got +2 in synth.
Did you take the cyberware? I heard you mention that at one point. Okay, so you get additional harm from that too. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so it's +1 from the weapon,
Right.
+2 from the harm, +1 from synthetic nerves, and then another one. So it's 5 so far from muscle grafts.
Well, this guy's super elite and wearing some massive armor. I don't think he has a chance.
Right. All right. So you're rolling synth. Let's see. I don't think you get so you get +2 to harm from your cyber arm, but I don't think you get a +1 to hit.
Correct.
Cyber arm. Okay.
So
it's just the damage.
Hit.
Okay.
Yeah. +1 from the synthetic nerves. Synth instead of meat from the muscle grafts. So +1 from synthetic nerves. I would say you've got a +1 forward from the storm. So synth +2. If I'm looking at that right.
That's the synth nerves and the storm.
Yes.
Okay.
Did I do that right, or did it already include synth nerves?
Yeah, no, that's
right.
You did it perfect.
Yeah. So that's
13.
easily,
Holy crap.
Yeah.
And that's a
So-
You see what you hear. So
The only way she fails is if she rolled a snake eyes. Everything else is at least a partial success.
Yeah. So what is this?
I can't do a whole lot, but the one thing I do really well, I do really, really well.
What does this look like? What happened? How does this happen?
I think she comes
Actually-
running at him. Oh,
really quick. So as she's approaching, she would obviously take a quick assessment of him. Like, does she know is he wearing armor, and because that'll affect how it looks probably.
oh yeah. Like if he's got a helmet, it's probably. I'm going to say it's not an open face helmet, but there is the split, much like a motorcycle helmet, for a visor of some kind, and she knows that's a point of weakness. So I think she's going to just slip that blade like right underneath that visor.
Okay.
So I think she's gonna take a run at him, and when she gets close, I think she's going to bring the sword out and kind of like, that'd actually be kind of like an upswinging motion. So I don't know anything about swords or running. Help.
Does
my
it have a
coaching,
pierceable point?
that would work
Because you
really
could
well.
just like thrust forward.
Yeah.
It's like you're waiting till he's looking at it a different way. You're coming up behind him, and then he's turning towards you, and right as he's turning towards you, you just like slide it straight through his face.
And you do 6 harm on a hit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So does he have armor? Because if not,
He does have armor, but it doesn't make much difference. That's why I said, like, what does this look like? Sorry.
okay, I see.
I don't know if I guess I wasn't clear. Like, you
How does he
definitely
die?
killed the hell out of this dude. Like,
The edge of my blade
But don't forget
catches
to not destroy his comms.
not destroy his comms, right? Well, that's what the helmet's for. But yeah, it severs, severs his spine. Like it's just a quick in and quick out again. So that he's going to drop, and I think that maybe I just kind of brace him with my shoulder and like against the edge of the wall, and then Well, since his neck is severed, it's pretty easy to remove his head at this point, and I think that's probably what I do.
So you don't bring his helmet; you just bring his head and helmet.
Just the whole thing.
So you've totally like smooth assassins created this guy. Like jumped up, grabbed him, like quick kill. Then you come drop back down. And you're like, just take his head right off.
I mean, it was dangling by like fibers.
I see. Okay.
I mean, like it's a sharp blade. It's a sharp, heavy blade.
It almost looked like, that was too clean. Let's just go. Yeah.
It's the chaos side of things.
So it didn't even matter if we blocked comms.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. You do that thing. As far as you can tell, no alarms are raised. There's no notice. Even the techs underneath don't seem to have realized that something's gone awry. Let's see, and probably you want okay. So Vice now is probably going to try and jam communications at this point. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah. I think he was going to be like right before she actually made contact. He was going to start jamming. She would have done.
Either way, this is happening fast enough that.
Right. I mean, this is at the same time that she's doing that. Probably he's setting that up. And since she kills the best, it won't matter. But
yeah,
as we were traveling too, by the way, I kind of worked my way in front and I was leading that way.
Okay, let's have you roll a synth for that. Let's take the +1 forward for the storm and whatever else you've gotten on for your abilities.
Oh, I don't have much.
Okay. Oh, because Cooler's right. Cooler's the one with all the crazy drone stuff.
10.
10. Okay. And let's see. What are we actually using there? Because it's not just synth. It's
well, I assume in order to
act under pressure.
In order to do the jam, it would probably have to be inside. So with a 10, would I be able to get like an idea of where people are in there because in order for Vice to control his stuff, he has like a PdA type. He's using like a tablet type thing to move the thing.
Yeah. So let's say that's we're doing two birds with one stone here. You've flown it in and activated the jammer. Now it's inside. I will make you make a separate assess roll for it once it's inside. It's a synth again. You don't get the +1 forward from the storm once it's inside. Just to sort of. Just because it's not just gonna come flying in and go straight in the middle of the room and look around, right? You're gonna be trying to hide it behind a chair or something.
I mean, I think if that role was just to have the success of the jam, I would rather leave it there because I'm not good enough to, especially without that extra forward. I'm not good enough with my stats to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically bounced right inside. It's successfully stowed away somewhere where it's not readily noticeable. Communications immediately go out. Let's see. I think probably Nickel can maybe able to see a tech shaking a walkie-talkie or something. Walkie-talkie doesn't seem very cyberpunk. I don't know. It's Russia.
Kind of comms device.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Probably kind of hooked into the PA and the earpiece
It's
or something.
Yeah. He's whacking the side of his head, to try and get his comms working again. But that was successful.
So so we're still making our way towards. Did we get? How are we communicating? We set something up to where we could have some sort of I would have ideally wanted to set up some sort of subvocal comms that picks up, low level whisper and transmits, but I don't know. What did we end up with?
That sounds like something you would have to use a gear for. Would be my suggestion there. Maybe tech could have.
Yeah,
Vice
I can use my gear. So let me mark that off. Basically, I would have pulled out some comms from my dump.
Ideally, we would have wanted them encrypted. I don't know if you.
Yeah. If that's possible, then they would be encrypted, because I know that my jamming works against unencrypted stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it seems, I would think that like a set of 4 encrypted comms devices that are linked only to each other would probably be 1 or 2 credits, right? So that should be gearable.
It's basically just a fancy walkie-talkie.
I mean, you have one gear that you have one gear. At least that's what I've got written down. I was just going through Vice's.
Yep. Yeah, I use my gear to do it.
Okay. Did you roll that? Did we roll that like storage ability at some point?
At the very, very beginning.
Okay.
I only got 1 instead of the possible 3 that I could have gotten.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I think there were 2. I think you traded 1 for something or other.
Fuji traded an Intel.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe I've marked off 1 gear for some reason. I didn't mark down why it was marked off. But okay,
For Vice?
For everyone. I've been keeping track of Intel and gear as like a shared pool.
Okay.
Maybe that was last time when Cooler was doing his race.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, might have been. Or it could have just been I marked down something wrong and scratched it out.
So, though, we should now all have basically sub-vocal comms that are linked to each other? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to add that to my stuff somewhere. Where does this go? Oh, there. Other equipment. Okay.
Yeah.
Sub-vocal comms encrypted. Okay. That's what I got.
Okay.
Okay, so that said, I'm assuming that Nickel would have informed us of something.
Yeah.
Oh, like.
So you just slid a sword through the guys and you held him and you gently laid him down.
And then detach his comms? Is that what we're wanting to retrieve from him?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we need his comms or maybe a key card, or we don't know exactly how to get in.
So yeah, she decapitates him basically, and does like a quick frisk, like searches for things. If he's got any money, if he's got a wallet, she takes that, of course. Or like credit sticks or whatever you want to use. And
it's not really any looting in the Sprawl, but that's for sure.
What was that?
It's more like yeah. It's not really. There's not really any looting in the Sprawl, but
there kind of is. Hackers do it a lot.
Flavor.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And
there's no pay data on. This guy's not carrying a lot of pay data on him.
And she just quietly sort of radios, "It's done."
How is it geared?
Oh, your thing's wiggling again.
Yeah, even worse than last time.
Test. Is that
Yeah,
working?
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. How is he geared?
Like, is she asking? Are you asking her?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, through through the comms.
Like guns, armor, that sort of thing.
Yeah, just so that we know what to expect.
Right. So he has just so Amanda knows, his rifle has body armor, sidearm as well.
Small pistol.
Does have, frag grenade and a frag grenade.
Yeah,
You say
typical
a frag grenade?
standard issue semi-automatic weapon, a small handgun, maybe a taser, stun gun, some kind of ties, like zip ties or wrist ties or handcuffs or something like that, which she takes from pockets. And there is a like a zipline key card / like sensor disc thing that he's got on a tether on his waist that she obviously takes as well. Looks like it's just sort of basic level, so like level 1 security type card. So that'll get us into the compound, but I don't know if there's any higher security levels that we'd be able to get past with something like this.
So head to the front.
Yeah, we'll meet you there.
So yeah, I'm working my way that way as we go, and I'm going to be looking closely to see if there's either anyone looking or something, and just kind of really carefully paying attention to the environment and anything to be aware of, which may or may not be an assess roll.
Is his tracking unit with me still?
Oh, Vice's?
Oh.
You mean his drone?
Yeah.
It's overhead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Hawk is overhead. There's a bug inside the Archangel itself that's jamming communications.
Okay. So, I think I would maybe I thought I would use his credentials to let you guys into a side door, so you don't have to come through the main entrance. Is that correct?
Okay, so I don't know that his credentials will necessarily open the maintenance hatches up top.
Mm-hmm. That would probably draw suspicion anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd definitely be able to get into the main entrance with his credentials.
Okay.
Though, let's say that's doable.
Cool.
So I'm just going into a weird security aside on my own office.